On February 25th, 2025, I went to Dead Zero Shooting Complex in Spencer, Tennessee. The wind was predicted to be 8 miles an hour with 15-mile-an-hour gusts from west to east. That should give me a good 3 o'clock full value wind. My goal is to identify which wind flags will accurately predict a wind call and which ones won't. My equipment is a pretty basic FTR setup. A Remington 700 varmint with a Brooks heavy varmint barrel, 30 inches, which has 2,350 rounds down the tube. A Night Force competition scope, a Sinclair bipod. This setup is generally capable of half to 5/8 MOA at 1,000 yards. I chose to shoot the Berger 185 Jaggernaut, which will give a bit more wind drift than the heavier 200 or 208 grain bullets. Muzzle velocity is around 2,730 feet per second and a predicted 1,000-yard velocity of around 1,430 feet per second. My plan was to set up a camera to capture the wind flags and take random shots in varying winds and see where they impact. After about 10 to 15 shots, I started to see something that was semi-predictable, as I will point out when we get there. Bed Zero has wind flags down the left and right sides of the range, with the flags on higher ground showing much more wind. However, as my bullet travels downrange, it does not get this high. At 550 to 600 yards, the bullet path is about 9 feet above the line of sight. A few things to note as we get started. I started out with 6 shots on the steel plates at 1,000 yards to get my windage close before proceeding to the E-targets. I wound up with a 4 MOA left dialed on the gun. I didn't touch windage for the rest of the day. All shots were held center X on the target. Again, the mission is to see what effect the wind variations have on the bullet. Okay, so here we go. You'll notice the flags up high are really screaming. The flags down the valley, not so much. And our bullet is traveling somewhere in between the two flags. Now again, I'm shooting at the center, just letting the bullet go where it goes and not really paying too much attention to what the flags are actually doing here at the start. Okay, shot 2 would indicate less wind. Now, starting to notice the flags are varying from 3 o'clock down to about 5 o'clock. And for those of you that don't know, we're shooting at the very far targets all the way down at the back. Okay, that condition there seems to be the most consistent. You got the flags at 3 o'clock, and they're not screaming, but they're steady at 3 o'clock. You've got the two high flags right and left, and the flags down the hole that are about 800 yards on the right. They're indicating a steady 3 o'clock, and the flag on the 1,000-yard berm is 3 o'clock. Okay, that would indicate that we got a little more, a few miles an hour wind from somewhere. We're coming up on shot 6, which for a spoiler alert is going to be an uh-oh. And an uh-oh on a windy day can mean a lot of things, but this one is my fault. So we take the shot, and nothing comes up on the E target. So I'm scratching my head as to, okay, did the wind let up and I went left off the target, or did it pick up and I went right off the target? So then I get to thinking about it a second, and there's multiple target markers down there. I'm shooting target 22, and there's old markers and there's new markers. So on that particular shot, I looked at the old marker, which means I actually fired on target 21. So I'll change over to target 21 here in a second, and you'll see a dead center hit on target 21. There you go. So the moral of the story is make sure which target you're shooting at. Thankfully, it wasn't in a competition, or there wasn't anybody shooting beside me anyway, so it didn't, it didn't foul up anybody's group or anything. So back to target 22, and here comes shot 7. Okay, that would be the let-up condition. And what's been happening on that is when the far flags are turned more towards the 5 o'clock position, I get that shot.
Okay, the wind's eased up.
You just heard me in the background talking, saying that the wind had eased up when I shot. Now shot 8 and 9, I'm looking for that wind that gives me my 3 o'clock flags, just a steady, good wind, nothing crazy. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see if we can find that one again on shot 9. There it is. So even in this wind, if you get the same condition, your bullets go in the same spot. And we're coming up on shot 10. And shot 10. Looks like the wind let up on me, and so it pulled us back to the left. So that's the 10 shots on that target for now. Okay, so I reset the camera to give us a little better look of the right side flags, and lo and behold, the battery died. So we're just got just a few seconds of the range with the new camera position, and then we're going to be flying blind. So I shot basically 13 shots off camera and then set everything back up. And I've got 10 shots left, and I'm going to do a play-by-play on that. Basically what I confirmed is what we were talking about on shots 8 and 9 previously, that if you get all the flags at 3 o'clock and try to find the steady wind, they'll group just on the left side of the 10 ring. So we'll see if we can make that happen. Okay, that's after about a 20-minute break. Came out, fired cider 1.
Clicks, quarter minute.
Okay, and that should have been with the flags at the 5 o'clock, and I think I'll do one more, and then I get my
Coming down, 2 more clicks.
my condition. Actually, what I just said in the background was I've dropped the scope down about a half a minute to get me close to the water line I'm looking for. That's the first time I've touched adjustments on the scope since we started. So that was a serious let off.
Before.
Now the flags are picking back up. Okay, now I've got my condition. Really good shot. That's where I expect them to land, right there. Now this clip is sped up to double speed, so the shots are going to come a little quicker. There you go. Same condition, same impact. See if we can do a 3-shot group. So far, so good.
The 600 and 800 flags. Well, they were dying.
Okay, shot 4, still in the group, looking good.
They're down just a little.
Oh, shot 5 dropped a little, but you know, if we'd have been centered up, it might have caught the 10 ring. Waiting on that condition. There you go. Not too bad. And I was trying not to screw it up. This is my last shot. All right in the center of the group. So there you go. That was my last shot. So we'll wrap it up. Okay, looks like we wound up with a 6.06-inch group for 7 shots at 1,000 yards and some pretty rough wind. That would be about a .57 or .58 MOA. So pretty close to a half minute. I don't know. What do you guys think? If all the guys have gone to the more streamlined, heavier bullets, and so have I, but I don't know. The 185s, it seems like they do better than probably what people give them credit for. But anyway, I appreciate everybody watching if you're still here. And this is my first stab at a video, so probably not the best you'll see today, but got to start somewhere. And just remember, on a still calm day, don't shoot like this guy.